Hey guys, we are back once again. Are you using retries and dead letter queue? Let me show you the common approach that may lead you to mistakes which can decrease the performance of your event-driven application. But before that, remember, please subscribe to this channel because it will motivate me to release more videos. Now, let's go. So let's suppose that we have here our customer microservice, and in the other hand, we have the decision microservice. Both microservices communicate with each other by sending messages. We choose Apache Kafka as our message broker. Now, the customer microservice produces a message to Apache Kafka topic. Now, the decision microservice, which is the consumer, consumes and processes these messages. So this is the happy path and everything is okay. Now, the second time, the customer microservice once again produces a message to Kafka broker in the topic, and the decision microservice will consume this message. Wow. Now this time we got an exception. So let's assume that this is a transient exception. For example, the database might not have been available at the time, for example, causing a connection timeout. Or even let's suppose that our decision microservice have tried to invoke a third-party API that responded with timeout. So these are exceptions that can be retried. So this is the place that in our common approach, we can use, for example, exponential retries or stateful retry. So let's suppose that we are going to retry 3 times. Now, the first time we are retrying after 5 seconds. We got exception once again. Now we are going to retry after 10 seconds, but remember, meanwhile, the producer is still producing some new messages. But let's focus on our retry, which result in timeout once again. So let's retry to the third time. So after 20 seconds, we got an exception. And now, as I was telling you guys, the common approach is to send this message to a dead letter queue. So here we have. But if you pay attention, we got here a problem. So when we were retrying this message, we could not process the newer messages. So this is very bad, for example, if our system requires very high throughput. And of course, retrying from the original topic is not the best approach. Let's suppose that we have more messages here and we are retrying, we are blocking the new messages to be consumed. So someone can say, for example, okay, we could use asynchronous or something like that. Remember, if we are retry, there are scenarios that we can, for example, lose the message order, which is something that we have been talking about in the previous video. So just check that video. And the other thing here is, for example, someone can just say, okay, what about the partitions? For example, we could add more partitions and, for example, we could scale, right? We could add more instances of this microservice here. And I think that it may be okay, but sometimes you will not use a very nice partition strategy. Okay, so for example, different messages with different keys, they can arrive, okay, to the same partition. And depending the way that you are dealing with messages, you still blocking, okay, the newer messages to be processed. So this is what we are going to solve here. How can we improve the solution? Now, let's suppose that we are going to consume, okay, the third message, and then we got exception. Instead of retrying from the original topic, what we are going to do here is we are going to send this failed message to a dedicated topic, which is the retry topic. Now, from the retry topic is the place that we are start retrying, okay, this message that has failed. Now, this time, for example, we got an exception while retrying, but we can see the producer is still sending some new messages. Now, we are going to retry the second time, right? Meanwhile, as we are not blocking the original topic, the consumer can still consuming, okay, the new messages while retrying. So, for example, the new message succeed, but the message that we are retrying here from the retry topic failed. Now we are going to retry once again. As we can see, the producer is still sending some new messages. Producer is not stopping because we have a fast producer. Now we are retrying the third message from the dedicated topic, okay, the third time after 20 seconds. Meanwhile, as we can see, we are still consuming from the original topic. So we are not blocking the original topic. So now this time, as we can see, the retry also failed. And now this is the time that we are going to send this message to dead letter Q topic. Because in Kafka, dead letter Q is just a common topic, just a topic, just the name and maybe the semantic in terms of business or application is one that makes the difference, okay? So now we have the message in dead letter Q and we have improved this solution. The original topic remains the topic that will only receive the message, and if something goes bad, we are going to retry from the retry topic, which is a dedicated topic, okay, that will serve the purpose of retries only, and we have the dead letter Q. So something like that. And I understand, okay, you guys, you want to see the codes, you want to see how we can improve, how we can implement this solution by using Spring Cloud Stream with Apache Kafka binder. Now, let's go to the code. So we are going to implement the solution and then we are coming back in order to give you more context about this solution. Now, let's go. So now we are here on our IntelliJ. So the first thing that you need to understand is that we are starting this project from our main branch. So in that order, we need to create a new branch in order to create this project related to retry topics and so on. Now, what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna show you guys here. For example, it's not the run. I just need to see the terminal from our IntelliJ. So I'm just gonna create here a new branch. Let's call it by feature retry topic and dead letter Q. So now we have a new branch. Okay, just remember we are now on a new branch. Let's just look, get status, okay, and everything is okay. So this is the branch that you will find in the end of this video, okay, in the comment section. Retry topic dead letter Q. So now that we have our new branch, the first thing that we are going to do here is we need to see, okay, we need to check the Docker, okay. You need to run the Docker, okay, for Zookeeper, Apache Kafka, and also AKHQ, which is our web UI that will allow us to see and manipulate topics and the Kafka broker at all. So my Docker is running already. What I'm gonna show you guys is, for example, here on my browser. So as we can see here, I have here, okay, my AKHQ, and we don't have any topic right now here. So going back here on our presentation, we can see that we have a customer microservice, which is the one that is sending message. Of course, you don't need to have both microservices running in order to complete this tutorial, but for this case, I will show you guys how you can produce message without needing this customer microservice. But for now, let me run first this customer microservice, and then let's see the way that the consumer is consuming the messages. So here I have my customer microservice. Now let me run this customer microservice, which I will share with you guys, so don't worry. Okay, this microservice, let me see. The application is starting right now. Okay, so the application is up. Now what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna use my Postman in order to produce, okay, some messages. Okay, so for now, let me produce, okay, the first message. As we can see here, Samuel Jackson. And here on the AKHQ, we will see, okay, the new message arrived from the customer topic. And if we inspect, we can see, okay, the customer created message. And here in the headers, we can actually see, okay, what type of event has been sent, okay, which is the customer created. Just like as we were showing you guys here in our presentation. So now coming back here on our decision microservice, which is the consumer microservice, let me run the application and we will see, okay, the microservice consuming the messages. So as we can see here, okay, processing or transforming the customer created, as we can see, the ID is 1 and the date that the message was created, and the decision microservice has computed the internal logic. And if we go, for example, here on our AKHQ, okay, let's go back here, we can see, okay, that the decision microservice, okay, is consuming, and there is no lag here, okay, the decision microservice is consuming the customer topic. Now, let's stop the application. Let's go straight to the point. What we want to do here, we want to allow, okay, that the retry will not occur on the original topic. So in that order, let's go back here on our application property. As you can see, we have here too many properties, and I just think that this is, this is the customer microservice. We don't need it. Actually, what we need here is the decision microservice. Let's just stop it. And now let's go to application property. We can see, okay, that we have here some properties. So the decision microservice, if you remember, guys, just go to the previous videos and you will understand, okay, what these properties mean. So for example, we have here our, let's say, function, which is the consumer, okay? This is the functional interface. This is the way that Spring Cloud Stream use Java and Spring Boot mechanism and Spring, let's say Spring Cloud function, okay, in order to consume messages. So you just create a bin, okay, using the functional interface consumer, and then you just bind the name of your function, okay, to, let's say, your binder here in the application property, as we can see here, okay? So we have definition here, and we are consuming from the, let's say, customer topic. We can just start deleting some configurations that we don't need, just like that. So the other thing that we need to delete also, for example, is the consumer batch mode. So if you remember, guys, you need to follow all our videos in order to understand this series about Spring Cloud Stream with Kafka. The consumer batch modes actually consume messages in batch, right? So many messages. So this is not allowed. So this property here, in order to retry, this will not work because the batch mode is true. What does it mean? If we are consuming in the batch mode, we have too many messages. So which one you will actually understand that failed and you need to retry? In that order, there is another video that we will do and we will understand how to do retry with batch mode. But for now, let's remove this property also here that we don't need. This property here is for Docker. It doesn't matter, okay? And I know too many properties here, but what we need to set here. So before moving further, as we delete, right, this property here. So if we delete this property here, we actually need to change our code. So instead of consuming a collection, okay, a list of messages, we are going to consume actually just a message, just like that. And remember, it should be this one, Spring Framework message, okay, just like that. And here, instead of doing it like that, let's just put here, for example, let's just call our handle method, okay, which will actually consume, okay, the payload, just like this. And now we can start thinking, okay, so we are consuming, right? So this, let's say this method here, right, is consuming from original topic. And if we can, for example, take a look here, we will understand that we are retrying, right? We are retrying using exponential retry. So instead of retrying from the original topic, okay, just like that, first thing that we need to do is, okay, we are going to set it to 0, Okay, so the max attempt will be 0. We don't want, okay, to retry from the original topic. Okay, so we just set it to 0. And actually we can also, for example, remove these properties here because we are not going to retry, okay, from the original topic. And here is just to say, okay, which kind of exceptions, okay, we are going to allow to retry. And I will explain you a little bit later. Yes, the next thing that we are going to do, for example, if we got an exception, we will not retry, and we are going to say, okay, so the dedicated queue will be enabled, but instead of that, what we are going to say is for this decision microservice, let's take a look here on our presentation. So as we can see, instead of retrying in this topic, once the message fails, we already need to send this message to the dedicated retry topic. So which will be decision customer retry topic. So coming back here, so we can just say, for example, just like that. So decision, so it will be like this. So the name of topic will be as we had there, so it will be decision that customer retry, okay, topic. Remember, the topic naming convention, okay, is important, but for now, in terms of in order to make it clear, okay, let's just use it like that. So what's happening here is we are consuming from the original topic, and once we get exception, we are routing, okay, the message to another topic, just like that, the retry topic. And here is, for example, these configurations here. I can just, for example, grab this configuration here and put it somewhere, for example, here, okay. This is very simple. Here, if you understand the previous video that we had, this configuration here just means that, okay, we are just going to allow to retry this exception here. For example, retryable exception. And if we take a look, here, for example, okay, we just create this exception here in order to allow us to retry. Now, going back to application property, guys, this will make sense later, okay? So all of this configuration are for this consumer here, okay? This consumer, okay, function here. So this configuration, we have the topic that we are consuming, okay? This actually is just the consumer group. If you understand what does it mean, I think it's duplicated. Okay, this one here is not necessary. Okay, so we just have this one here. This is the name of the topic that we are consuming. This is the consumer group of our microservice, because our microservice is a consumer. So once we get an exception, okay, we are going to send, okay, this message to a dedicated retry topic. Now, how we are going to, let's say, retry from the retry topic? This is the place that we need to add more configurations. I will put here in the comments. So for example, configurations, retry topic, just like that. Now, we need to create also a function, okay, that will allow us to retry, okay, from the retry topic. So in that order, let me just create here a new function. It will be also consumer that will consume a message, just like that. And let's call it by customer, because we are retrying the same message, right? Just like that. And let's say here, for example, process customer created retry topic. Okay, so just like that, customer create from retry topic. I know the name of the function is very big, but I just want you guys to understand what we are doing here. So once again, it just returns for us, for example, the customer created. Remember, you need to annotate always this as a bin, okay, in order to be managed by the framework. So now that we have it like that, Before calling, for example, the handle, right? This is the handle. The handle is just saying, okay, processing and blah, blah, blah. Before that, let me just log it to differentiate. For example, here we are going to say, for example, retrying using retry topic, just like this. And here we specify the message itself, and then we can, for example, handle. So just like that. So as you understand, it's just receiving the customer created. This is a message, okay? Remember, we are using Java 21, so sealed interface and records, okay? This is very nice in order to specify, for example, your records, your messages, something that is immutable, right? Because event is immutable, something that happened in past. And now, it's complaining because it needs a customer created, not a message. So in that order, let's just get the payload. Okay, so the payload will be a customer create, just like that. And here we just set, okay, we just finish it like that. And now from this side, let me just put it something like this in order to be very visible, okay? And here we are just going to log once again. And here we are going to say, okay, here we are, for example, consuming, okay, from original topic, just like that. And here maybe we can just, for example, also put the message. Now that we have here two functions, one that will consume from the original topic and another one that will consume from the retry topic, this is the place that we need to go once again to the application property and start adding some more configurations. Now, these are the configurations. So the first one will be, for example, the Spring Cloud. So we just need, no, the first one is always, whenever you create a new consumer, okay, or producer or even transformer, we have all this kind of videos on our channel, you need actually to declare that, okay, you have a new Spring Cloud function definition. So for example, here we are going to pass, okay, the new one, okay? So this is the place that we can, for example, as you can see, for example, if we find here, you will see that we are configuring this function here that is related to this one here. So we are going to do the same, okay, for this one that we have created here. So in that order, we are going to use Spring Cloud stream. Yeah, stream. That first we need to say, okay, bindings. So this is bindings, okay, and here we specify the name, okay, of our function. So then we specify in, which means input, okay, and then we start saying, okay, we are going to consume, okay, so this process customer created from retry topic, okay, will consume from a destination. So when we specify here the destination, that means the topic, okay, which is, where is the topic? The topic will be this one here. So decision, why decision? Because the decision is the name of our consumer. So we need to create the topic with the name of our application itself. So the decision is name of our microservice consumer, and then customer retry topic, just like this, okay? So Spring Cloud Stream will actually use the default configuration that will allow the application to create topic, okay? So now that we have here this first property, now we need to start, for example, adding some more properties. For example, let me just copy this one here. I will paste it here. And this is actually the concurrency, okay? The concurrency, which means that how many, let's say, threads, okay, our application will create in order to process the messages. So for now, let me just put here 3. This configuration is not required, okay, you can live without it, but for me, I like this because sometimes I need to use more threads because we are having now the virtual threads with Java 21 and it's amazing. So why not using, right? So Now I'm gonna copy once again this configuration from the original binding, okay, from the original function. I will just paste it here, and I will rename only the name here because I want this video to be more fast. And now here is the place that we need to say how many times we are going to retry. So for that, I will say, okay, we are going to retry 3 times, okay? And also we need to specify which kind of exception, okay, we want to retry. So I'm just going to copy these lines here. Actually, I'm going to cut this line here, and I will put it here. I will put them here, okay? And instead I will say, okay, so the consumer retryable exceptions are the ones that I'm defining here, okay? So for that, I will say, okay, this consumer, okay, will retry any kind of exception that is the type of retryable exception. Remember, I have created here a retryable exception in order to show you guys which exception we are going to retry. But what you need to understand, let me go back here, is retryable exception is about your business logic. You need to understand which kind of exceptions you are going to retry. Because, for example, null pointer exception is not something that you need to retry. How can you retry null pointer exception? Maybe you can, for example, set it to the letter Q, fix your code, and then later you can retry. But it's not what I mean. I mean, you need to retry some recoverable, some exception that can be retried. For example, timeout, connection, timeout from database, or timeout from a third-party API, or for example, during a short period of time, your application crashed, or something like that. So this is the concept of what I mean by retryable exception. And here, for example, we can specify which exceptions, okay, we will not retry. But actually, guys, we don't need this, okay? We don't need this configuration here. And now we can, for example, start playing for example, the time as you remember. So we'll retry after 5 seconds, then we retry after 10 seconds, and then we retry after 20 seconds. So now the configuration that I'm gonna set here is the one that will allow us to use the exponential retries. And now, so let's use it like this. So Spring, it should be the same. So Spring Cloud.stream, okay? And then we specify the bindings, okay? Then we specify the name of our function that we are using, okay, in order to consume or something like that. So it should be 0 that, for example, here we can say consumer, okay, and here we start, for example, adding, for example, the backoff, right? The backoff initial interval. So just like that. So the backoff initial interval for this video will be, for example, 1 second, okay, just like that. And then let me just copy this one from the beginning, okay. I think if we put it like this will be better. Now we set here the next configuration, which will be, I think, the max interval, okay. So backoff. So the max interval, for example, can be, I don't know, maybe 10, just like that, okay? And 10,000 seconds, milliseconds, I mean. And then, for example, we need the multiplier, okay? So the multiplier, for example, let's just use the default one, but in order to make you guys understand, so let's use here the multiplier. Just like that. The multiplier is 2, 0, okay? And you can, for example, put the multiplier 3 and so on. Guys, go back to our video related to retries and you will understand all these properties, because the this video, okay, is about the retry topic. Now, The next thing that we need to do, okay, we have configured, let's go back to our presentation. So in our presentation, as we can see, we have the customer topic, okay, and we have also the retry topic. Now the next thing that we need to do is that part that once, okay, the retry exhausted, okay, we need to send it to the dead letter queue. So let's do that. In order to do that, the only thing that we can do is just do exactly the same. So let me just copy this configuration and let's pass it here, and let's replace the process customer created, okay, with the process customer created retry topic. Actually, what we are doing here is we are saying, okay, so if we are retrying from this topic, okay, from this topic here, the retry topic, we need to enable also dead letter queue, and the name of dead letter queue should be, let me just copy once again here, this configuration, okay, and we are saying, okay, so for example, for this particular binder, okay, process customer created retry topic, the dead letter queue, okay, will be decision customer. Instead of retry topic, it will be, okay, dead letter queue, just like that, okay. So this is the way actually that we need to set up, okay, in order to make our application to use this approach. And let's go back here on our code, okay. Actually, what we are going to do here, we need to find a way that will allow us to send, let's say, to throw some exception. And in that order, let's just see, for example, if customer created, let's say the customer, I think first we need to do something like that. The customer created that get customer, so get customer, just like this. And let's say here, the customer, okay, just like, okay, or we have already here the customer, my bad, I didn't see. So we have here the customer. So now let's just use here a simple if statement that will see, okay, for example, if the number is even, if the number is even, okay, we are going to throw exception, throw new retriable exception. So let's say that we want, okay, the name of exception is we want to retry this message, just like that. Actually, this is the customer's social security number, okay. So if the social security number is even, okay, we are going to throw an exception that will, for example, simulate here. Here we are just simulating, for example, a let's say DB connection refused or timeout, okay, or even, for example, we are invoking, okay, a third-party API, okay, which responds with, okay, timeout or even, for example, an available service, okay, just like that. So we are just simulating here, okay, the error. And yeah, I think this is okay for now. Let's just see. Remember, I know that you guys are saying, okay, so you are creating two functions to consume the same message. Guys, we are going to improve it. This is the first part, okay? And this is the purpose of this video, to show you guys what's gonna happen here. And yeah, I think we have everything, okay? These configurations are the default, I think. This is for our, we don't need that, okay? Concurrency for that one. I think also we don't need this configuration here. And the Docker, okay, as we are using, guys, I have here the Docker Compose. If you want to run this application without problem, just remove the comment, okay, and run the application like that. The Docker, as we are using Spring Boot Docker Compose support, okay, it will create the containers for you, okay? And you don't need to run it manually. This is amazing. Now, I think as we have here, okay, now everything is clear, guys. That was a mess, but you need to understand why we are doing it, okay? So this is the configurations, okay? So let's put here in the top, configurations for, let's say, original topic, okay? And then we have the configuration for the retry topic. Now that you understand, from original topic, we are not retrying anything. We already, if we got an exception, we are going to send it to the retry topic. And then from the retry topic, we are going to retry 3 times with some exponential retry, okay? And if we reach the third attempt, okay, we are going to send finally to dead letter Q as in our presentation. Now, what I'm gonna do here is I'm going back to my AKHQ. Let me go back here on my browser. Yes, and I will delete all these topics here. Let me just say like this, okay, everything is clean. Now I'm gonna start the producer microservice. Remember guys, if you want to produce the events, you can, for example, just use the AKHQ, specify the name of the topic, and you can produce some messages, okay? And maybe later I will show you guys it, because sometimes you don't need to run both applications from your side. Actually, this is very nice. That's why I create the other video related to Spring Cloud Contract for messaging system or for event-driven microservices. But now, let's run our producer microservice, which is the customer microservice. Let's just run it. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to produce some new message. So Stan will be the name of the customer, Lee will be the last name, and the social security will be even, because this is the one that we want to throw exception once we, let's say, process it, okay? So the customer microservice is running. Now, what I want to show you guys, for example, here is that we have our event. Okay, now that we have our event, what I'm gonna do here is let's run our consumer microservice, which is the decision microservice. So the decision microservice, guys, we are going to run it in debug mode, and let's put here some breakpoints, for example, here, and also here. I think also here, okay, in order to simulate, in order to show you guys that we are going to throw exception, maybe here, okay? Now let's run the decision microservice. Okay, now the decision microservice, let's check here the console. The decision microservice is consuming, okay, from the original topic. Let's see what's gonna happen here. So once we consume from the original topic, we actually got, okay, let's just check. Yes, okay, we got an exception. Remember, once we consume, let me show you guys here, okay? We can see here, consuming from original topic, we got an exception, right? So we are going to throw this exception. And now, what's gonna happen here? Let me check. So let's see. Okay. My mistake, we got an exception here. It's saying that dead letter Q support is not available for anonymous subscriptions. And we're still having some exceptions here. And actually, what's happening here, even, for example, if we try to produce some more events, okay, for example, let's just create some more, and we will have this exception happening here. So this is because, for example, as we can see, we got exception. This is because when you use the dead letter Q, okay, you actually need to specify the consumer group, okay? This is what we are missing here. So for example, as we can see here, we have, for example, I think, yeah, we have already the consumer group for the original topic, but we need also the consumer group for the retry topic, just like this. Okay? So what does it mean? So if you want to have the letter Q, you need to activate, okay, the consumer group. Now, let's stop our application. Actually, what I'm gonna do here is let's restart. Let's start from the scratch. I'm going to restart also the producer microservice. Let me just stop the producer microservice. And now let's go back to our AKHQ. And let me just, for example, delete all the topics because we want to understand it in practice with pure and more clean examples. Let's run once again our producer microservice. Yes, we have our producer microservice running. Now let's produce message. Now this time let's call it by, for example, Elon Musk. Yeah, let's call it, yeah, let's just produce a new event with this name, Elon Musk. Okay, now let's check first the event. Okay, yes, we have here the event in Kafka. As we can see, the customer is Elon Musk, is buying some rockets. And now let's run the consumer microservice. So now, oops, I think we need to run it in debug mode. Okay, so let's just go here and let's run in debug mode. Remember, this is what we have. Okay, so we have the first function and the second function and the handler. So we are expecting here an exception to be thrown. Yes, now, if we take a look here, as we can see, I think this is instantiation of the bindings. Yeah. Okay, now we got an exception. But as we can see, first we are consuming from the original topic. Okay, and we can take a look here. The message is the one that we have produced. Okay, so we are consuming from the original topic and then we are getting an exception. Okay, so just like that. So once we get the exception, as we can see, okay, we got the exception. Okay, now what's gonna happen here is the fact that our original topic we will not block that topic. Okay, we will not retry from the original topic. Instead, we are retrying now using the retry topic. So if we take a look here on our AKHQ, this is what's happening here. So we had, okay, the first message from the original topic. Once we got the exception, we actually send this message to a retry topic in order to free our consumer from, for example, processing from the original topic. So the newer messages will be processed. But if we take a look here, this is very nice because we have the original topic here. The original topic, okay, in the headers, we can see this is the customer topic. And we are retrying from a retry topic. This is very nice because Spring Cloud Stream is sending even us the state trace of the error. As we can see here, this is very nice in terms of the bug, in terms of if you want to understand what's happening on your, let's say, microservice, okay? The reason that we have this message here. So you can explore a little bit more, guys, but as you can see, okay, this is amazing. Now, let's go back to IntelliJ. So let's retry. This is the first time that we are retrying. This is the second time that we are retrying. If you guys take a look here, right? We are retrying the second time. Let me clear. Okay, and now we are retrying for the third time. Remember, we put it the attempt, okay, the max attempt is 3. Okay, the max attempt is 3. So now if we just release it, okay, so now what's gonna happen here? Oh, okay, I think this that was another message or something like that. Let me see. Okay, I think that was another message, okay? But now, if we take a look, okay, here, what's gonna happen is after we try to retry using the max retry, what's gonna happen, yes, we had 2 messages there, that's why. What's gonna happen here is after trying to retry, then we send the message to the final dead letter queue, okay, which is this one. I don't know what's happening here, why we have 2 messages, but this is amazing. I don't know what's happening here, guys, but this is amazing. That's why, remember, last video, if you are retrying, you should always use idempotent producer. Yes, remember, if you retry, our consumer microservice now is somehow a producer because it will produce the message to dead letter queue or to the retry topic. And during the retries, okay, some problem can happen and you can have the duplicate messages. From previous video, go to the previous video, you will understand. So remember, use the idempotent producer, idempotency, okay, in order to do retries in a safe mode, okay? So that's amazing. Guys, I hope that you are enjoying these videos, okay, because we are actually putting our hands and programming and doing some stuff. And this is the consumer microservice, okay? So as we can see, we got the exceptions and so on. Now guys, this is the place that you need to summarize, okay? For example, we could, for example, say, okay, now our, let's say, original topic, let me put here, because this is the configuration, guys. Here is the configuration for the original topic. We can say, okay, for original topics, for example, we can actually use more concurrency, okay? For example, 6 threads, but I think we don't have 6 partitions, okay? Let me go here. Okay, if we take a look here, for example, total, what is the partitions? Okay, is 1. Oh God, we have only 1 partition. That's bad, okay? But we could, of course, increase more partitions and so on. And yeah, so everything is working as expected. I think the purpose of the video, okay, has been achieved. And remember guys, we need to retry from a different topic, and we are showing you guys how to do that with Spring Cloud Stream. So we need to improve this code. I think we can do it in the next video or maybe in this video. We are going to use another concept called by multiplex, okay, which is a functionality that will allow us to improve this code. But for now, I think we can stop it and let's keep it on the next video. Guys, please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to this channel. I'm giving my best to share with you guys some patterns and some pitfalls, and I want you guys to be ready because we are talking about all this concept because we want to create a saga pattern, okay, with orchestrators and so on, and everything will be based on event-driven architecture. That's why I'm focusing on making you guys to understand all the concepts, because we are going to do event sourcing, CQRS, and saga patterns, okay? So that's the reason we need to understand the basics about the producer, the consumer groups, partitions, the idempotence, and so on. Guys, keep with us and leave a like. So coming back here, in order to inspect, for example, our messages that we have here, of course, here we got duplicate. So that's why I was telling you guys that you need to set idempotency for this particular, let's say, retry and so on. But let's inspect a little bit. So if we go here, for example, from our retry topic, we can see, okay, that we have 12 headers. So what does it mean? is the one that I was showing you guys, that we have, for example, the original topic here, okay, in the headers, and that's amazing. Okay, that's amazing because it's Spring Cloud Stream giving us some stuff, let's say, out of the box. And also we have here trace parent. Trace parent is amazing because, for example, if you are using observability or Jaeger in order to understand the flow of your event-driven architecture, which is something that we are going to see in the future, you can still inspect, okay, the trace parent. So you will have, for example, you can see the trace in order to understand the flow. What I want to show you guys is, we go back here, there is a difference. So in the final topic, which is the dead letter Q topic, we will have more headers. So this is amazing because if we try to inspect, we will see the original topic, right? And then we have the exception and so on. But later we can see, then we have also, for example, what happened next was decision, the retry topic. So remember, first we were processing from the original topic, which is the customer topic. Then we passed to the retry topic, which is this one, decision customer retry topic. And then in the end, it ends up here, okay, in our decision dead letter Q topic. This is amazing, guys. This is actually amazing, and I think that's why I like this framework, Spring Cloud Stream, and also Spring for Apache Kafka, but especially Spring Cloud Stream.